I'm going to show you how to make these no-sew pillows. But first, today is the drawing for my first giveaway. I'm so excited. So all you had to do was subscribe and leave a comment, and you were in the drawing to win this craft that I did a couple weeks ago. So I put everybody's name on these little pieces of paper. I'm going to mix it up and see who the winner is. And the winner is SK. So what I'm going to do, SK, is I'm going to leave a reply on your comment with my email address. And if you can email me your address, I will be glad to send these off to you. Congratulations. Last week when I made my curtains, it was brought to my attention that a lot of people don't have sewing machines. So this week, instead of making throw pillows that I sew, I decided to try no-sew pillows. So I have 3 versions, and hopefully you'll find one that you like. For my first project, I used a yard of fabric and a 14-inch pillow. And then I put the fabric diagonally, and then I put the pillow in the middle. I flipped the bottom part up and tucked it under. Then I tucked the top part in a little bit and flipped it over. Kind of pushed down a little bit, and I made triangles on each side by flipping each side of the fabric a little bit. Then I pulled each side together and made a knot, a square knot actually, doing right over left and left over right. Then I tucked the tails in under. For this pillow, I cut the fabric 4 inches wider and 4 inches longer than the pillow. So I used a 16-inch pillow. I cut a 20-inch by 20-inch piece of fabric, and you will need 2. I used a print for one side and a solid for the other, but you can easily use the same for both sides. I started by pressing a 1/2 inch seam on all sides on each piece of fabric. Then with my glue gun, I glued the seam a section at a time, gluing all 4 sides of both pieces of fabric. This is a very important step. If you don't glue it, the seam will pull out once the pillow is finished. I laid the pieces on top of each other, right sides out. To hold the 2 pieces of fabric together, I used quilting clips that my cousin had given me, but you can easily use paper binder clips. Once I had them clipped together, I glued a section at a time, only gluing 3 sides of the pillow. I put the pillow in and glued the 4th side. And for my final pillow, I had a 1/4 yard of fabric, and I thought I'd just try something I saw on Pinterest. I cut some batting all the way down, about 9 inches wide. You can make it longer, and you can cut more batting and add onto it to make it thicker. I was mostly just trying to see if it worked. I made sure the fabric wrapped around 1.5 times, and I had about 4 extra inches on the length, 2 on each side. I pressed a 1/2 inch seam on one side. I wanted to add a little bit extra to it, so I had this ribbon and I just glued it on. I turned it inside out and put little rubber bands about 1 inch from each side, and then turned it back around right side and stuffed it with the batting. Just kind of fluffed it up, played around with it a little bit. And I did make sure the seam that I had pressed was on the outside. I added a couple dots of hot glue and held it closed, and that secured it. I also wrapped a 16-inch pillow that's there in the center, and there you have it, all my pillows on my daybed.